In Movies and Money, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's big bucks at the box office. Let's bring in movie man Erik Childress, founder of the Movie Madness podcast. Erik, Superman soared to the top at theaters over the weekend. However, you say Warner Brothers needs Superman to reach more than $500 million to cover production costs and make money on that film.
Well, I might be biting my nails a bit waiting for this weekend's numbers, but let's look at last week's first. The final tally came out to $125 million, which was actually less than what Zack Snyder's Man of Steel opened to back in 2013 when you factor in Thursday night shows, as all box office estimates do now. Now, that is not what Warner Brothers wanted to be looking at, as this is the opening salvo to the rebooted DC universe. Now, maybe even more concerning was that international tallies were even less, with just another $95 million. A lot of films would love to have grossed $220 million worldwide on an opening weekend, but at a reported cost of $225 million, this is going to have to conservatively get to around $550 million. Some are suggesting as much as $700 million. And even if there is optimism Superman breaks $350 million domestic, there is no guarantee it will now do the same overseas. Superman should lead the way again this weekend, but next week faces a direct challenge from Marvel and their rebooted Fantastic Four film, so expect a much bigger drop then. If Superman is not ahead of Man of Steel's pace by the end of this weekend, entire nails are liable to be chewed off. Even more so, looking at the numbers, it seems very likely now that neither Superman nor Jurassic World Rebirth can come away as the overall champion of this summer. That is looking to be Disney's Lilo and Stitch, which by this weekend should become the first American-released billion-dollar film of the year and possibly of the summer.
3 new films are coming out this weekend. What should movie fans expect?
Well, there's 3 films that will be dividing audiences in more ways than one. Perhaps the most high profile of which is another reboot. This time on the horror side with I Know What You Did Last Summer, featuring Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. reprising their roles from the 1997 original in limited roles. We know what horror has done this summer with Final Destination Bloodlines, one of the more successful films of the year, and 28 years later also doing decent business. Now, tracking is suggesting a softer opening than I would have imagined for this, even though this was always second-run Scream, and critics from my Chicago brethren are turning in a number of one-star reviews. Families are also being offered another helping of Smurfs. The animated favorites from Saturday mornings got off to a great start in 2011 with $142 million, but have seen grosses for its 2 sequels basically each cut in half. They've gone from Katy Perry to Demi Lovato, and now Rihanna is taking the voice of Smurfette. But Sony didn't want critics in Chicago to hear her or see the movie by not doing screenings for press here.
The 3rd film debuting this weekend is Eddington. Here's a clip of that movie.
How did we get here? And even worse, is it worth it? At the cost of being at war with your neighbors? That's why I'm running for mayor. Mayor of Eddington. Thank you, super duper very much.
Eddington is your top pick for the weekend, Erik.
Yes, that brings us to Eddington, Angie. Now, this is the latest from anxiety-laden horror guru Ari Aster, who gave us Hereditary, Midsommar, and Beau is Afraid. His latest is a neo-western set in the early months of the pandemic as non-mask-wearing Sheriff Joaquin Phoenix challenges Mayor Pedro Pascal for office, and needless to say, tensions get very high. Now, I've been an admirer of Ari Aster's work, as has none other than Martin Scorsese, since I first saw Hereditary at Sundance, and he has been tapping into variations of horror that set his films apart from most others. Not every scary movie has a slasher or a creature to ward off, and Eddington in some respect could be the scariest of all, in that it involves America at its breaking point. This will be a very divisive film for those who see it. I have admiration for it despite its messy elements, but am very much looking forward to a second viewing of it to reassess both its strengths and its weaknesses. It certainly has more interest for me than another run from The Fisherman or with the Smurfs.
It does look interesting. Thank you, Erik.
Thank you, Angie.